My name is Cody Sargent, and I'm going to persuade you not to get a hydrogen car. Now, what is a car? I'm not an expert by any means, and if you want more information, go look up one of these videos. They go into much more detail than what we got time for, but I figured I should probably lay down the framework of a car before I start naming the problems of them. And just based on these results, it wouldn't probably hurt for some of y'all to get a refresher. Now, all cars have the same basic function, to get from point A to point B and have a good time on the way there. Engineers and inventors since the late 1800s have been trying to find the most efficient, affordable, and reliable way to do this. And for many years, the norm has been gas-powered cars. Although there has been many versions of the cars since the beginning of their creation, they all have the same basic components. This means that even now, all cars need suspension, steering, brakes, and lights to really be characterized as a street legal vehicle. The most important part of a vehicle, though, and the main problem that engineers and designers face, is the drivetrain, the thing that makes your car go vroom vroom and skirt skirt. A gas-powered car uses hydrocarbons like fossil fuels, natural gas, and diesel to cause an explosion, which in turn turns your crankshaft, which transfers power to your transmission, which drives your drive shaft, which then turns your differential, which is finally connected to your axles that spin your wheels. The problem with the system, though, is that to work, it must give off toxic chemicals that, as we all know, aren't that good. According to the American Chemical Society, the main pollutants are carbon monoxide, unburned hydrocarbon fuel, and nitrogen oxides. Nitrogen oxides can lead to acid rain, ozone layer depletion, and respiratory health problems. All pretty bad things. To combat this, many companies are now looking for an electric alternative to these pollutant-making machines. You can forget all the rods, explosions, and other complicated machinery that goes into gas-powered cars, because guess what? They don't need it. The motor is attached directly to your wheels, in most cases with batteries taking up the rest of the unused space. Not only do they have fewer moving parts, but because of this, they are significantly more efficient. EVs convert over 77% of the electric energy from the grid to power at the wheels. Conventional gasoline vehicles are only convert about 12 to 30% of the energy stored in the gasoline to power at the wheels, according to fueleconomy.gov. Well, it's set then. The future is electric. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure to like and, oh wait, I forgot. Hydrogen. Brands like Hyundai, Toyota, and Honda are going in a slightly different direction, with EVs powered by hydrogen fuel cells. The same stuff that spaceships are fueled by? That's kind of cool. Well, not really. Hydrogen is kind of like if the battery-powered EV and the gas-powered car had a baby, and then this baby grew up to have a baby with a rocket who turned out to be an EV the whole time. I know it's complicated, but basically how it works is just like a combustion engine vehicle. It holds its liquid fuel in tanks. This fuel, which in turn is in the form of H2, goes into a hydrogen fuel stack. This converts this H2 into electrons and H2O, water. While a battery-powered EV just transfers the already abundant electrons in the battery to the motor, a hydrogen car has to make electricity on the move through this process, which has already gone through many stages to manufacture and produce its hydrogen fuel. This is the difference between a battery-powered vehicle and a hydrogen-powered vehicle. To make hydrogen, it has to go through a process called electrolysis, which basically shoots electricity into water and it separates it into oxygen and hydrogen. This hydrogen then goes into the fuel station and is stored until it's picked up by the customer. All these processes take away from efficiency, making the average hydrogen car about as efficient as a normal combustion engine vehicle. Only 33% of electricity used to move the hydrogen-powered car from place to place. The rest, 67%, was lost or wasted, writes Clean Technica. And according to AAA, today's gasoline engines are only about 30 to 35% efficient, which means roughly 65 cents out of every dollar you spend on gas goes to waste. So not only are hydrogen cars complicated like combustion engine vehicles, but they are also just about as efficient. But the most vital thing that hydrogen claims and disguises as is clean. Electric cars have had plenty of criticism for being clean because that electricity has to come from somewhere. In 2020, renewable energy sources accounted for about 12.6% of total U.S. energy consumption, about 19.8% of electricity generation, says the U.S. Energy Information Administration. So not the best, and it's a long distance from being clean. But considering battery-powered car vehicles are like 80% efficient, they use the energy they're given a whole lot better than their hydrogen alternative. So why would you get a hydrogen car? I don't know. Especially considering you have to move to California to have the infrastructure even to drive one. So, hydrogen. Is it going to the moon or just brands blowing hot air?